The Lord be with you. The Lord be with you. Gotta rope them in. All right. Let us open our annual meeting with prayer. Let us pray. Gracious God, we ask that you be with us in our conversations and in our decisions, that we may always act according to your will for us. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of what this agenda looks like, and then we'll see if there's anything else we're going to need to add to the agenda. So we need to start with the election of an elder, and then the installation of that elder. We need to elect 3 representatives at large to the Nominating Committee. We're going to have a conversation regarding church activities and missions. Clerk's report, pastor report, parish associate report, committee reports including fellowship, worship, stewardship, finance, building and grounds, congregational care and outreach, and then Faith Presbyterian Women's Report. Are there any additions or changes that we should make to that agenda? Okay, hearing none. That shall be our agenda. First item of business is the election of the clerk. Pat, would you report for the Nominating Committee?
Yes, our nomination was Mr. George Jackson, and we have nominated him to be run for elder.
Okay, George.
You said nominate clerk.
No, it's for elder.
Yeah, that's what.
For elder.
But you said
Nominating for clerk.
Really?
yes.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. It's too late. He's already been elected clerk by the session, so that part's already done. Okay, I know.
How can that be done? It's impossible.
Y'all know it's possible.
We're acting like the U.S. government.
I know. So, all right. The Nominating Committee has put the name of George Jackson up to return to the session. He's been ordained for a little while, and is experienced and all that. I am required to ask, are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none. Is there a motion that George Jackson be elected to the session?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a comment.
Yeah, comment is that George has been on vacation long enough, time for him to go back to work.
Yeah. On vacation long enough, time to go back to work. Yeah, look out now. No, don't pour that on his head. Those in favor of electing George Jackson to the session, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. I know you were going to do that. Motion carries. George Jackson, you have previously answered to the questions of ordination. Do you reaffirm this day your answers to those questions?
I do.
You are now installed on the session. And I can't tell you, what is it, 2025? Class of 2025, I think? Okay, yeah, 2024. We'll get it right in the minutes. We'll fix it. Welcome back to this ministry, my brother. Yay. Okay, on to the Nominating Committee. Our bylaws require that we have 2 elders from the session. One of those serves as chair. We have 3 members at large from the congregation to meet with the nominating committee with voice and vote. Those 3 can be elected elders already, but they may not be currently serving on session. So, a member of the church may or may not be an elder, not serving on session, and we need 3. Do I have a nominee? Any volunteers first?
Is there such a person as that?
What, a volunteer?
No, not the qualification we talked about start with.
Well, yeah.
They've got to be an elder, but they can't be an active elder.
No, they don't have to be, but they can be an elder.
But you need 2 elders that are
The session will pick the 2 from the session. So the congregation nominates and votes on 3.
You basically only meet one time, right?
A couple of 3, usually not more than that.
Sounds like a volunteer.
May we put your name in nomination?
Yeah, I was on it last year.
Okay.
I did a horrible job, but with the elders I picked her, I got one back there.
Mary.
Nominate Jackie Kaiser.
Okay. Jackie Kaiser. Jackie, would you serve?
Come on, Jackie, I did.
This is just the nominating committee, sweetheart.
Okay.
Okay.
The hard one's coming later.
The hard one comes later. All right. Need one more.
Jonathan?
I'll nominate Kathy.
Oh.
Deb.
Kathy Scadam, would you serve?
You can like this if you guys
We'll go to lunch somewhere.
Let's have that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we have 3 nominees for 3 positions. Are there any other nominees? Okay, so we have Deb Arnold and Jackie Kaiser and Kathy Scadam. Is there a motion to elect these to the nominating committee?
I make that motion.
I hear that. Second?
Lee says she'd like to be on it too. She just hit her hand up.
Were you seconding the motion? Okay, yeah, okay, she's seconding the motion, okay. All right. Those in favor of Deb, Jackie, and Kathy elected to nominating committee, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. They are elected. And hopefully the chair someday soon, well, not real soon, but someday, will get in touch with you and let you, and organize meeting. Okay.
We don't have to worry about it.
Not for probably a few months, or at least summer. All right. The conversation regarding church activities. One of the things that has been noticed in the last few months, as things that I had mentioned a little earlier in the sermon, that we've got folks who are, well, all of us are a year older, and some of us are getting a little bit more creaky and cranky. And so we've been thinking for some time about whether we can pull off a Lenten lunch series this year like we used to, recognizing, that requires soup cooks and sandwich fixers and people to set up and to clean up and to all that kind of stuff. And so the question really is, have we got the oomph? Have we got the people power to do that this year? So what do you think, Pat?
Probably gone.
Yeah, you're the one that said, I'll fix those soups.
I will ahead of time.
CCO, at our last meeting, we discussed this. And we decided that if we had to, myself, Kay, and Vicky would make 2 things of soup and bring them. And if you got somebody to make the sandwiches are not that difficult to make. I know it's a cost, especially now, but it's not that difficult. So we'd like to do it this year, because we feel like we can. We put on the big dinners, I think we should be able to pull up one lunch.
The only thing, I'm sorry, is that lunch is 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
And a big dinner is just once.
Right.
I think there's a lot of us that would, I brought soup every year, and I'd be glad to bring several soups if necessary. I think we all eat and have to prepare food, whether we're 75 or 85 or whatever, so I'm really in favor of continuing that.
Thank you. Okay.
And I'm not a member, so I suppose I should shut up, but I'll bring you soup.
We'll have the soup.
No, yeah, and basically, this is not a question of membership, this is activity level. Just out of curiosity, show of hands, if we have Lenten lunches, are you available to assist in one way or another, do you think?
When does it start? It's gonna start March 3rd.
Yeah, about 3rd of March, first week of March.
Not start until March?
Right.
Oh, I'll be here then, okay.
Okay, all right, well, there you go. Okay, I think, from what I'm seeing, it looks like unless all of us go through the hospital in 1 week, that we might manage that. Mary?
So what I'm hearing is this is kind of a different arrangement. Before, we usually had a different elder in charge of each one, and they and their team, there was a sign-up sheet. It didn't matter whether you were on that elders committee, but they were responsible. So are we not doing that?
I don't think so. I've never worked too good.
Always kind of crossed over. and just-
Yeah,
just-
crossed over, yeah.
So, I wouldn't say that we're not unless we decide that we're not. I don't think that's been,
Yeah, that's what I mean, if we're reconstituting how we do it, that's my question. It's just a housekeeping question in a way, but we need to know who's in charge,
Yeah.
or if nobody's in charge.
I
yeah.
think it would be nice to
And I'm
have
not very
actually have a plan, and maybe, if Alan knew he was supposed to clear tables every week, that would be helpful, so you know what his thing is, you don't sit there and wonder.
And he comes just in time.
And he comes sometimes, yeah, well, he doesn't have that bowling
Well,
anymore.
bowling is kind of gone, so I'm hoping.
Ah,
But I think it would be helpful to have a plan that you kind of know what, you're gonna be doing for those weeks.
right.
You always, we're doing some dishes, somebody's helping you with dishes, and then at least you have a skeleton plan about what you were supposed to do or what's expected of you.
Right. So in the past, I have basically been responsible to get the speakers, get them lined up. Who is going to?
I'll do the dishes, the
Okay.
dishwasher.
And I'll probably help with the dishes too. I'm wondering who wants to kind of straw boss the organization of this? Who gets to do that? To straw boss it.
I will,
Okay,
the head CEO.
okay. Okay, just basically somebody needs to come up with the sign-up sheets as to who's going to do what. I'm not sure if it's going to be all that helpful to have an elder in charge. We have a number of us who have done this over the years, and so I think we can probably just get her done if we got our sign-ups. Very good, okay, yeehaw, all right.
That's a tick.
Thank you. Efficiency, I love it. All right. Anything else that anybody needs to say on this topic?
I could, well, I could clean up too. I mean, I could help with
Okay.
another person.
All right. The sign-up sheet's right there behind you.
Paper that they just passed out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we doing it as before, like 4 soups and 4 sandwiches?
I don't think it needs to be 4 soups. I'm thinking at least maybe for starters, a couple of soups. I really don't know what kind of attendance we're going to have.
Usually you have your best attendance the first couple of weeks.
Okay. So maybe we ought to have more for the first couple.
The Baptists always show up when their preachers here.
Right,
Yeah.
The Methodists are always here when their preachers.
right.
But the Baptists don't have many members.
That's right.
I mean, they only had 4 people in church last week, so they're, and some of those are moving away.
Yeah.
No, he has 3 churches he pastors.
David, are the pastors and the congregations of the other churches, are they open to gathering?
I think so. I think so. I'm going to find out probably in this week.
And if the Methodist, is that just that week, or is that kind of what it is? You'll come into church.
Right. Right. And we're going to find out.
We need to put an ad in the paper, about it, if we're gonna do it. And, I noticed that the church over here, they meet on Saturdays now. They don't meet on Sundays, it's the one that had the school.
Right?
But if you come by on Saturday afternoon, there's cars there. So I don't know, and I don't know who the pastor is, but
Right.
since John's not around, so.
I think there's a new church, it's the meeting on Sundays.
So that, and then new church, we need to get a hold of them too, it's over by, where Larry used to own, I think he still owns the building. It used to be a warehouse, it's behind, there, they meet on Sundays, somebody's there. No, not Martin, it's, where the Eagles is, you said, warehouse building.
Is that Tom Doty?
No, Tom's meeting in Salem in his funeral home.
Oh, okay, because I heard he had a church.
Yeah, he's meeting in Salem in his funeral home.
Okay, okay.
But those are churches that we should make sure.
Right. Right. And figure out who they are, et cetera. Right. Because the landscape has changed in a couple of years. Okay.
That Bill has handled the advertising in the paper, but now we'll still be able to do it. That'll do the advertising, that Bill.
Okay.
Says it on
All right. We can fill in details, I think, as we go. So can we move on at this point? All right, let's move on. Clerk's report. Madam Clerk, you get to finish up
We're started.
or start.
Do you want me to go up there?
Yes, please. Oh, what's the coffee cup?
Yeah, that's kind of.
Pass that here and
Anything else? Would you like a little cookie or
Oh,
something?
yeah, cookie would be nice.
First of all, I would like to thank the elders that I worked with. Again, and it is work. Sometimes we don't realize what an elder does, but it's not that much work, those of you that haven't been yet. It's very fulfilling, and sometimes we have fun. But anyway, so my clerk's report for 2021. In the year 2021, average monthly attendance was 24. Communion was held 14 times in the year. We had 2 deaths in 2021, Edith Southwell and Crystal Miller. Hayden Agnes and Victoria Cole were married in 2021, and Barbara McConnell was our new member for 2021. We have to remember, when it says our average daily attendance was 24, that the first 4 months we were lucky to get 20, because that was still COVID and just opening up the church. So when you have that many months low, we have been pushing 30 the last 2 months, but our snowbirds are here too. So that helps, but that is all. Thank you. Oh, just a note, when the other committee members or elders come up, if you will give me your minutes when you leave. Thank you.
Yay, Madam Clerk. I'm trying to remember if this is the first time I have done a written pastor's report. Because it may be. I often say, no report. Yeah, so, okay. But I thought I had a wild hair, so I got a report today. In 2021, I continued as 3/4 time pastor, which basically works out as 1 Sunday, 1 week off per month. That arrangement started in January of 2020. I also have been allotted 2 weeks per year of study leave. Because of COVID, I used 3 days of study leave last year because we didn't do pilgrimage, and we went to midwinter lectures online. Went to Austin by way of the TV. So, and that was about 3 days worth. So actually I have been, it may not seem like it, but I actually have been in town a little bit in 21. So I led worship about 37 times. That's Sunday mornings, that's Sunday worship, plus Christmas Eve and Maundy Thursday. We were supposed to have an Ash Wednesday service, but Jonathan tells us that we were snowed out on that one. He keeps records. And one Sunday was canceled as a COVID precaution. Speaking of COVID, we have not had a super spreader event, thanks to the grace of God and the sanitizing work of Jackie Kaiser and the self-quarantining of several of us when our exposure status was in doubt. We have had a very low incidence of COVID and no casualties. Pulpit supply in 21 was brought to us by the Reverend Cindy Saul and also our own George Jackson and Lila DeMoss and I think Chuck Spangler.
Coming up.
And he's got one coming up, that's right. I served communion about 14 times. Continued as tech support for our weekly live video stream for worship, and that's both for the benefit of our own members who are shut in and some friends of this congregation scattered about the world. I've prepared the bulletin draft for just about all services, moderated 12 session meetings and a few 12 stated meetings and a few called session meetings, and have moderated the annual congregational meeting and I think a called meeting as well. And I have attended some committee meetings. I don't keep good records, so I can't tell you how many. There have been virtually no hospital or nursing home visits in 2021. And most pastoral care has been done by telephone because visitors of any sort have not been welcome in any kind of healthcare facilities.
You visited my mama.
I did. When I can get in there, I did.
Yes, you did.
But that it didn't happen very often. And I wish that was different. Monday Bible study and prayers, I led those about 3/4 of the time. So in addition to the opportunity to pray together, and we read the Bible passages that will probably be used the next Sunday in worship and maybe sing a hymn or two, has been attended by 10 people, I think, at about a maximum, depending on the season and the circumstances. Wednesday Bible study, again, about 3/4 of the time. That study has been more topical, been team teaching with our parish associate. We are just finishing up with a study of the Gospel of John, centered around video lectures from Dr. Mitzi Miner. She's professor of New Testament at Memphis Theological Seminary. Has been very interesting and informative. We have, on an ongoing basis, add occasional video segments from Dr. Wayne Stiles' tour of the Holy Land, and that's helped us to understand better the places and the people of the Bible. This past year, we had several weeks of study of the book of Proverbs, and I don't remember really well what else we studied this last year, this record-keeping thing. Wednesday Bible studies have been, what are you laughing at? Wednesday Bible studies have been attended by 12-ish people, some of whom are not members, again, depending on the season and the circumstance. Co-moderated Sunday school with the parish associate. During 2021, we've been reading through the Presbyterian Book of Confessions, and it's really interesting how often the 17th century Westminster Confession touches on issues that are current in our church and our world today. In 2021, we again had Vacation Bible School for Grown-ups in August. That was team organized and led with parish associate and several congregation members. And the topic for 2021 was spiritual practices. I have participated in a few of what have become weekly games of chicken foot dominoes, which, by the way, has become a fairly significant point of entry into this congregation over the last year or so. In 2021, I got bitten by the gardening bug, and I've been sharecropping Spangler's farm and in back porch containers. And in 2021, I started experiencing a significant amount of body betrayal. I have been blessed with a fairly resilient body, and that's bounced back from a lot of abuse that I've thrown at it over the years. The last couple of years, I've been having significant cartilage breakdown in my ankles, and that's caused less mobility and more chronic pain. I am probably up for an ankle replacement a couple of 3 days after Easter this year. So keep in all of these things. Your prayers are appreciated. That concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I guess I was going to say thank you very much that we could get you in New York through the whole summer.
Appreciate the broadcast.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that's something that I was going to ask, just out of curiosity. How many of you have watched one or more of our worship streams?
Oh, yeah.
And
The whole summer.
many of us. So thank you. Okay. All right, our parish associate, the Reverend Patricia L. Schaller. Howdy.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
For 2021, I have been grateful. I don't know which is going to be better, for my glasses or not glasses. Grateful for the church, for the witness and mission to the service of Jesus Christ. Thank you for all of that, because you have done a wonderful, spectacular job in doing that. As parish associate, I assisted the pastor in educational opportunities with Sunday school, adult vacation Bible school, Monday and Wednesday Bible studies, and PW lessons with the substitute of Mary Jackson. Thank God she is available to be able to do that. For pastoral care, to those in our church, friends, and in our community, and for those who have needed an ear and care in their situation of need. I have been the resource person for finding resources for Bible studies, i.e. walking through the Bible with Wayne Stiles, the videos of the Holy Land, who has taught us a little bit about archaeology and sacred places and history of different places. As worship leader, I have looked forward also in locking up the Alleluias at the end of this month of February, the last Sunday in February, and we're going to have hopefully our Mardi Gras dinner, which we missed last year. We also had a Taizé service, which we did at the Adult Vacation Bible School. We have remembered our saints with candles and inviting congregational members to participate. That was, I believe we did that a couple weeks ago with our communion service. We've also remembered our baptism, which I did not put in this report, which I'll try and remember to do that. Maundy Thursday meal for set up the tables in the shape of a cross in here. And we also had a foot and hand washing along with that. And I've also helped David with the distribution of the communion elements. As music director, I have been able to find and help David with finding the hymns for Sundays and special services. As choir director, unfortunately, because of COVID, we have not been able to have choir, although I am planning on starting that at the end of February on the 24th. We will hopefully have community members to also help with that. I realize that most of the churches are not having their choirs, so it's going to be a matter of beating the bushes to see who's out there and who can sing. In regards to that, I'm hoping that those that do participate have been vaccinated, have been boosted, and will continue to honor if they are sick or if they have been exposed to please not come that week, but to quarantine if they need to. And I want to thank Jonathan for his help in technical assistance with the worship service, for finding music, for prelude, for postlude, offertory, and other music. David and I both have been very fortunate to have his expertise in not only typing things in for the services, but also coordinating that. So thank you, Jonathan. We appreciate it. And in closing, I have been thankful for your assistance, your love, your commitment to God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Submitted by Reverend Patty Schauffer. Thank you.
Patty, I just want to add that I think you had too much fun that day when you were fronting.
Remember your baptism?
I didn't even get you because you were in here.
Yeah, too bad. I got it like 3 times. You did them, and you did me, and then you did Pam behind me. I got it all 3. So.
Remember your baptism
And rejoice.
I was a baby.
I'm sorry, I have to tell you this story about, we were gone Christmas time, but we went to church at our daughter's church. The children's sermon, remember your water, your baptism, and at the end of this, well, of course, she was sprinkling the little kids, but she gave them all little squirt bottles, little like this. You run around now and get, these kids went wild in this congregation. Down the hall screaming, and they made sure you got a squirt, you know.
There is a pastor of our acquaintance who was serving a church with a balcony, and it was a little too far to just sling it. he got a super soaker. So he hosed them down in the balcony too. Remember your baptism and rejoice. Okay, boys and girls, now after that bit of levity, let us move on to committee reports, and we start with fellowship.
Our committee membership is still small. We would love to have more people on the committee to bring fresh ideas to the table. And still, I'm the chairperson and Mary Jackson's my secretary, and I could not do it without her. We would like to say thank you to everyone that helped set up and clean up. We couldn't have done these events without your help. We got a late start last year for social events due to COVID. We did have pastries after a sunrise service. We didn't have Lenten lunches. We plan to have them this year. Our first fellowship dinner was in May, and it was in appreciation of Teresa Orick and her many years of service as our secretary. We had 7 fellowship dinners for the year. 3 of them was our annual fish fry, our Thanksgiving dinner, and Christmas dinner. So you know how much work it takes and how many people it takes to do these. We had our August ice cream social. Spring Dipper wasn't able to bring their ice cream due to retirement. And we bought ice cream and frozen yogurt from local stores, and you all brought cookies, cakes, and pies. And Spring Dipper is still in business at their store up north of Hardy. We had our after-service snacks and coffee and tea on Sunday, and it's nice to see so many staying after church. We still have game night the second Wednesday of each month. Folks like it so well we have been having it every Wednesday. It's nice to see so many people getting out. We have a new year ahead of us, and if you have any new ideas or better ways of making our events more enjoyable, let us hear from you. And again, thank you. Thank you for all your help. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you, Joanne. You keep us grinning and giggling. All right, worship committee. Rick?
Okay. The responsibilities of the worship committee is to oversee all the functions of the worship service. Everything from opening a church, arranging for ushers and liturgists, and preparing communion, changing the liturgical colors, scheduling speakers as pulpit supply when the pastor's away. I could not accomplish this without the help of my committee members. My members are Pat Gill, Carol Butchery, Jackie Kaiser, Jonathan Coggins, Patty, and David Schaller. Thank you for all your hard work. And I want to also thank you, the congregation, for your willingness to serve when called upon. Along with our weekly services, we have had several special services throughout the year. Monday, Thursday, we had a communion meal here in the fellowship hall. Good Friday, the sanctuary was open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for anyone that wanted to come in and pray or just meditate. Easter Sunday, we had a community sunrise service on Turkey Mountain, along with service in the sanctuary at our regular time. Adult Vacation School was August 8th to the 12th. It was in the fellowship hall here. Sunday school was started back up at 9:30 a.m. in the fellowship hall. Last year, American Red Cross held 2 blood drives at the church. First one was on July 9th, and the second one was November 12th. And we have another blood drive scheduled for February 11th this year, so mark your calendar. We also live stream on our service on Facebook for our shut-ins and for our snowbirds when they're away. Jonathan has been very faithful in performing these duties, along with the music and the audio. On November 27th, a group of 14 volunteers met at the church for hanging of the greens. We decorated the sanctuary, put up the tree and the nativity outside, all in preparation for the Advent season. December 24th at 6 p.m., we had a Christmas Eve service to celebrate the birth of our Savior. Again, I want to thank everyone for all the help and to say that there are plenty of opportunities available for anyone that wants to serve. We have a sign-up sheet in the fellowship hall for ushers and liturgists, and if somebody is wanting to join our committee, our next meeting is February 4th at 10 a.m. here at the church. Many blessings. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. And I do want to echo, I really appreciate those of you who serve as liturgists. I know that not everybody can get up in front of people and talk, but I do appreciate it for those who do. It reminds the congregation, it reminds the world that that worship is not just something that the preacher does, but that it's something that we do together. So thank you for that. Stewardship and finance. Ray, you're up. It's a long ways up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this without my cane.
Yeah.
Something else I have to worry about.
You can borrow mine there if you want to.
Just don't get in front of me.
I have one here, closer and closer. Okay.
I'm gonna try not to bore everybody to death, and I would appreciate it if you don't go to sleep while I'm talking about it. Numbers are not something that everybody likes to know about, but we have had, over the last several years, our investments have been very good. We earned something over $43,000 plus a $10,000 contribution last year into both of our funds that we have. Our total, we ended the year with $353,000 plus in both the funds, resulting in a total profit, basically, of, and I'm going to kind of hedge this a little bit, as I mentioned, $59,533. $10,000 of that was a contribution that we made in June. At this point, I wanted to make sure that I covered the part where session has decided that because of that money that we made last year, we're going to take a portion of that and donate it to 5 different entities, mostly in Horseshoe Bend itself, but we've got a couple of exceptions to that. But we've got the process going. We're going to have about $4,400. That's a percentage. That's 10% of the total money that we made, and hopefully that will help those places that we've decided to put the money. We had total income last year was $79,000, almost $80,000. We had a budget of $82,000. We had a deficit for the year of a little over $2,600, and that is normally we would take the deficit that we had and make up that difference through our investments, but we didn't have to do that this past year because of money that we already had saved. For 2022, we had 15 pledges, total $46,360, and we are also anticipating somewhere between 20 and 25% addition in loose offerings and things like that we normally going to put us pretty close to what we budgeted for this next year. We probably will be a little bit short this year as well, but that's the nature of the beast, I guess. one of the things I did want to cover, in addition to the profit that we made off of our investments, the TPF funds that we've got has been very good for us. One of our funds, the General Endowment, is we've earned since day one. We've been in it, and I'm guessing now, I don't even know how long it has been really, 6 or 7 years, I would think.
7 or 8.
7 or 8, something like that. We've made, in that General Endowment Fund alone, we've made over 17% profit over the years. That's total. The other fund, the Capital Facilities Fund, something less than that. I think we're around 15% in that one. So we have done very well as far as our investments. David had already talked a little bit about that. But is, one of the things that you got to look at, all churches can't say that. All organizations can't say that. We've, because we put up with what we have to had the last 2 years with COVID and that sort of thing, I think we've been very fortunate, and we've got a lot to be thankful for in addition to the monies that we've been able to get. I wanted to take the opportunity right now to express a big thank you to those folks that have spent time and effort in keeping the church operating. Especially a special thank you for David and Patty for the work that they've done keeping us going. I think that for the most part we're very fortunate to have them and the people that's willing to do the work in our church. I want to take a couple of minutes and see if anybody happens to have a money question we want to deal with. Please say no.
No.
No. If anybody got a question, fire away. What do you got? Anybody?
Sounds like we're doing good.
We are doing good. And that's the one thing I am very pleased about. I like to end my reports with usually a quote from Mark Twain. And this one, I think, especially Session has come to get used to the idea, but his quote this today: keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. That's it, guys. See you next year. Maybe.
One thing that I noticed on a financial report not too long ago was that it was a report on pledges from last year, and it's not uncommon for people have one thing or another comes up and they can't quite get up to get their pledge fulfilled. And so, it's usually a good thing for the end of the year pledge fulfillment is, 85, 90, 95%. Well, pledges for last year turned out to be more than 100%.
That's been pretty normal for us, David.
Okay.
The last several years.
Okay.
We've been well over 100% as far as the pledge. Let me back up just a little bit. Our pledges, we've been in really great shape, but the extra money that we've gotten have come from those same people that pledged $1 amount and actually ended up by giving more.
Yep.
So that's primarily what we're doing.
Yep. So, appreciate y'all very much. And thank you, Ray. Building and grounds.
As y'all can see, I'm well prepared. I want to start out by apologizing.
Really?
We had several calamities at the house this morning. I had made a small talk. Of course, went off and forgot it, just like I do a lot of things. We started the year doing what normally do, ballasting the lights, bulbs in the lights, replacing those and keeping things lit up. And we went on from there and had several things reported to me. And tried to take care of. I try to do all these things myself, and I finally realized I can't. But it's difficult to find somebody that can or will, I'll put it that way. We had a tree out here we had to get down. The city helped us with that. Went to the mayor, and they took care of getting the tree down and cleaned most of the brush up. Got the big stuff out of there, hauled off. And then we had the foyer out here on the south entrance of the church. The floor was starting to peel up. And the pastor finally got tired of waiting on me. he got out there and removed the old paint and actually put a sealer on. I had incorporated, I asked Ray first to be on my committee, or our committee, and then I asked Steve Julian. Well, Ray has stuck with me through most of it, and I guess kind of by accident, because he got tired of waiting on me, I've adopted the pastor in here too, so he's done a lot of work. Trying to think, 'cause like I said, I went off, forgot everything. My wife's trying to help me.
Garbage disposal.
You know I can't hear you.
Garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal.
Oh, yeah. I told you that. Yeah, we had the garbage disposal here on the north side of the kitchen. Hadn't been working for quite some time. I'm not sure how long. So it was brought to my attention, and Pastor called me one day from over at Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't remember where it was, and you found it, the garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had got that purchased, and we come up here one day. And I asked Steve to come help me because he was that young and limber enough he could crawl around underneath that thing. I hate replacing garbage disposals, but I got the old one out, and Steve started trying to help put the new one in. Well, wound up, Pastor crawled under there, and he did a lot of the work. So, but anyway, we got that in, got that repaired, and of course, David has kept the yard trimmed up fairly nice. There's been a few times it got a little high, but it was either too wet or seems like the summer was a lot wetter than it usually is. But anyway, kept the grounds in good shape. Kept the propane tank filled up. We had, was it this year that the air conditioner went out? We had a
blower go out.
Yeah.
Air conditioner blower.
Yeah, had to replace that. We had to replace one whole light fixture. I still hadn't figured out how that shade got broke on it. But anyway, you can't find one of these shades, so please don't break them. You have to replace the whole fixture. We've been working on, we got a light out in the sanctuary. I hadn't got up there to see whether it's the ballast or bulbs or the light, and gonna have to get that replaced. And we've got to paint the topping on the sealer out there in the foyer to get down. And I can't think of anything else, and I'm sure there's quite a few.
What do you use to get up to the ceiling out there?
I can't hear you.
What do you use to get up to the ceiling?
A ladder. I've got an extension ladder that'll reach it. We had to repair the gutters here over that'd be the west side of the fellowship hall, and it was leaking right over a window, and it was wearing Jackie to death. But anytime it rained, it was pouring down out there. So I've got that repaired and patched up.
Appreciate it.
And she told me this morning that they'd replaced a bulb in the women's bathroom.
No, it's a hallway going in with anyway, one of the light bulbs went out, and I just went ahead and bought one for
Okay.
myself.
And I want to remind everybody, as you can tell, my memory's not too good, but if you find something or see something that you'd like us to look into, write it down.
You're taking care of the
Yeah.
water softener too.
Oh, yeah, we have to replace that regularly. It's that we don't use a lot here because we don't use the water that much. And then we've got the front out here. We've looked at it. David, as soon as David gets well enough, we're going to get our heads together on it and see what we're going to do out there. But it's got to be patched up, fixed up. I ordered a bench to replace the one that rotted and come apart out there, and it came in Friday, and I hadn't attempted to put it together yet. And this door here the outside is peeling quite badly, and we've got to get that fixed.
No, real bad. Not quite, but real bad.
Real bad, real bad. I got a question. The nativity set, outside, it was for Christmas, it's still out there. Now, who takes care of that?
What did he say?
He's talking about the nativity set down at the corner.
Oh,
Well, if you look carefully, a lot of the items from that set have gone on to storage. The wise guys are still out because it's still the season of Epiphany, and this is their season. So I decided we'd leave them out through the season of Epiphany this year. So all our neighbors will ask the question, why? Why?
we need all the wise men we can get. So.
Oh, that's true. That's when we lock up the hallelujahs and have Mongrel.
Well, it's in a couple of days.
No, a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks, yeah.
End of February.
Well, end of February.
So the wise guys will be out through February,
Oh, okay.
and then they'll go back to their homes in the east.
But Jesus and everybody else is gone, right?
Well, the shepherds and the angels
Are still out there.
they've gone home.
They've been gone home.
Okay.
Okay.
Out to pasture.
Yeah.
You want to say something about the doorbell?
Okay. We have ordered a doorbell.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
I know you weren't.
Okay.
I'm informing you.
That's notes, right?
Yeah, I'm informing you, we have ordered a doorbell for the entry by the office.
Is it hardwired or?
It is supposed to be wireless,
Wireless, okay.
so it should be
That's no problem.
easy installation as long as it can get through the brick walls and the steel doors. We'll see.
Well, all we can do is try and see.
We need the actual hours that the office is open.
Office is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 o'clock to noon.
I know it, but it has 0 to 1.
That sign.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Just
Just saying. All righty.
Also, any help, anybody that'd like to volunteer to be on this committee, I can put you to work. But be prepared to work too.
All right. Any questions or comments for Bob?
Who wants to volunteer?
Who wants to volunteer? That's right. Sign him up.
What'd you say?
Who wants to volunteer? Yeah.
I didn't see any hands go up.
No, I didn't either.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Pat Arnold, you're on deck. Congregational Care and Outreach. Yay, Pat.
Well, another year's gone, and we're here. First of all, I want to thank everybody for all the help that I got this year. You guys are amazing. I don't care what anybody says about you. I'll stand up. This year we met every goal we set and exceeded them immensely. Part of the year, of course, we didn't even operate, so we didn't do as many projects as we normally do, but we did really great on the ones that we did do. And the members of my committee, Cindy isn't an official member, but she is now, whether she knows it or not. She was supposed to be a rover, but I stuck her. Kay Chevalier, Mickey Spangler, Kathy Duncan, and Pastor here. He comes, he's another one that I don't know if I get to counting for full time, but he comes to our meetings. And this year, we gave 99 rides. And that's to all of us sick people. I mean, you're taking me all the time. Somebody's taking, daughters and stuff. But if anybody else needs a ride that we don't, normally, call one of us. We will take you. If I can't do it, I'll get a hold of somebody else. Jackie will do it. The pastor will do it. I'll find somebody. Meals, we only delivered 19. And I know we've had more sick people, but, I don't always get who's doing what. Bread, we've delivered 15 loaves. Thank you. Bill is here asking me every Sunday now, I need some addresses. He needs some addresses, guys. So we got to get him some addresses. I know of 2 houses that have sold, but I don't know the people yet. Betty Curtis's house sold, and Betty, I drew a blank, but anyway, there's 2 houses. Cards, 176. And thank you very much, Cindy, for sending those out. It's a blessing, even when I get one or when I've been sick. It's really nice. I actually got a card, not just something from an email. And shut-ins, Kay does that for us. She usually takes the sermon and the bulletin to the people so they know what's going on. A lot of them listen to our broadcast, but that was 38 different people, that she's taken those to. And we've got 2 or 3 that we give them to almost every week. And as you know, our goal for Journey into Hope was $4,000. We exceeded that immensely. The food bank, it was $300. We totally went over that. And the Catholic Church baskets, we went over that goal too. So I just want us all to thank the good Lord for the goodness that we get. We have to have it to be able to give it out. So he's doing us a great job. And I thank him, and I thank you again for all your help. And it looks like we're going to be doing Lenten lunches, and it looks like I got a pretty good call sheet. Thanks. Yes, ma'am.
Prison outreach.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. It's not on here. Okay. We did more than we ever thought. We dressed 1,000 cards for those guys and sent them off. This year we did not put in the Way of Salvation. We're going to do that again next year. We think we'll do that every other year because we have to laminate those, but we usually put them in the cards. And we had 3 full trash bags full of things, and these weren't little trash bags. These were the contractor trash bags that we had full. So, and they were very thankful. And I'm hoping that you will ask the chaplain to do one of our
I plan to.
Lenten lunches, so everybody can hear from him too. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to, would you kind of go through the donation thing that we decided to do?
Oh, you want me to do that?
Mentioned
Okay.
it a little bit, but just, you're going to be heading up in here.
Okay, I thought that was going to be yours, but I got to remember now. My committee was the one that was asked to give the sessions ideas on who to give the money to, and we decided that most of it needed to come locally, and by locally I mean Izard County, So we asked to give $1,000 to the food bank, which is very local, $1,000 to the Christmas baskets, to the Catholic Church, $1,000 to the prison, and $1,000 to the pregnancy, New Life, is that what it's called? New Beginnings. And that's in Ashflat. And that's to help the young ladies that get pregnant and don't know what to do. And it helps them with clothing and things for the babies and things that they need as they grow up. And then the other one that we help, if you notice, the church, the Assembly of God Church, is doing Mandy Monday, right?
Manna.
Manna Monday. So we don't know for how long, but they're serving people dinner every Monday. So we thought that we would give them 400. Was it 400? $400 of it, and that was the odd amount that we had left. And so that will help. And if you need, you want to go eat Monday, go stop by and go have dinner. But we know that they're feeding a lot of the people in the community that don't, get good dinners. And we thought that that was another place to help. That's local.
And I think it starts at 4.
Yeah, it's from 4 to 7 or
4 to 7.
4 to 7. Yeah, that's what the sign says.
Yeah, that's what the sign says.
We attended the Morriston Fire Department monthly food
Potluck.
potluck. That's it.
Yeah.
And we received a little piece of paper, an invitation to Manna Mondays over here.
Okay, cool. Very good. So then it is, yeah. Well, that's everything's a community. If this, we would think of what we do as a community. Like when I have a dinner, I try to get everybody in the community to come and just fellowship with us to know that what we do and where our hearts are. So I thank you.
Thank you. All right, that get all of our questions there. Okay. Mary Jackson. I've got you down to, or somebody, who's doing the PW's report? Joanne. Okay, I didn't have a name down here.
Well, we wish to thank our congregation for all the support you've given FPW, and you do it each and every year. We also have several outside supporters who help keep us doing the things we do, and thank you everyone. We started out in January 2021 with a carryover of $3,598.50. We received offerings and donations of $5,130.19, which included memorial donations for Edith Southwell for $1,780, for local charities that she always had a concern for, and $888 from Emily Butler for local charities that her mother had a concern to help. We also collected offerings and donations of $2,442.19 from our meetings and the congregation. We didn't have any spring or fall gatherings nor Lenten lunches due to COVID. We did host the annual congregational meeting last January. We had our Christmas luncheon in December at Calabama Restaurant. And listed below, we have money we have spent during the year. And local utilities, $2,019.81. Food bank, $800. Study books, $111.27. Birthday offering, $215. Thanks offering, $200. Leased coin, $108.47. In our annual PW mission, $35. Vera Lloyd Christmas is our children's home, is $200. Vera Lloyd Christmas gift cards, we buy 5 cards at Walmart for 5 children in one of the houses at the children's home. That was $250. Sheriff Youth Ranch, $200. Christmas baskets, $300. And the Pregnancy Center for diapers, $299.98. We had a carryover for 2022 of $3,988.96. And it's all due to everyone helping, pitching in, and just keeping us going. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now I get to ask, is there any other business today? Ray?
I failed to mention our permanent funds committee when I was up there. It's kind of a stepchild, I guess. It wasn't even on my report, but twice a year, we are required to have a meeting that effectively is supposed to guide our investments through Texas Credit Foundation. Members of that committee are Mayor Jackson, Jackie Kaiser, and the pastor is invited, of course, along with the treasurer. We had a meeting last week, and we had a few people show up, not everybody. But anyhow, what we're going to do is stay the course, and we decided to do that. As I said, it's a semi-annual meeting, so every 6 months we have a meeting, and this one we just keep each other along. As long as the investments are like they are, I don't see any reason to change anything that we're doing, but we're there as a watchdog thing, basically, to make sure that we feel good about the path that we're on, basically. But I did one on my report, and something just goes right over my head, but I did want to mention it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, anything else? Going once, twice, 3 times it's sold. Will you stand for the benediction, please, if you are able? Lord God, we give you thanks for the year that was, and we ask that you continue to lead and guide us into your future for us. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen. Go in peace, do not go to pieces, and we finished in time for the Super Bowl. It could have been for 2 more weeks, you know.